fake Christians, false doctrines, self-gratifying serving philosophies. These are some of the reasons why people leave the church or fall away, become disillusioned, confused. It's not the outside world that always takes Christians out of the church. It's the church that tries to become like the outside world to bring you in. You can't keep them because they're still in the outside world. You've never changed them. They've never changed. Much like the fact of listen, all church buildings to most church buildings are a terrible place. It's a breeding ground of mass confusion and chaos because they tend to follow their own way instead of the Bible. They'll throw some stuff out there. It's wrought with hypocrisy. Somebody's gonna watch this and go, "Oh, nice job. Way to not bring anybody to Jesus." No. I want them to come to God through the Bible. Not through man's words that keeps changing. Not through man's doctrines that change every so often, or it's a little twinge here, a little twinge, a little here, a tweak here, a tweak there, all these little things. The Word of God does not change. Man does. God stands the test of time. He is time. Man does not. It's just that simple. How often have you been in the church building and you were still starving when you left? You were given nothing to eat. Spiritually. Nothing. Nothing. No meat. You didn't even get milk. You got powdered milk. Yes, I've had powdered milk. It's really, in my opinion, disgusting. And again, but if you live in a place where you have nothing, you'll take what you can. But I've had powdered milk. My mother was briefly on welfare when I was a kid. There's a huge problem. People know there is, they recognize there is, and they feel like there's nothing they can do. Many people are in these churches, these church buildings, kind of like Martin Luther in a small way. They're all trying to reform it. They're trying to change it, to get back to where it was supposed to be. Those church buildings are not going to go back to the way they're supposed to be. You're going to see many church buildings not even exist anymore. The house church is really where it's supposed to be. It's New Testament all day long. Well, what about the Old Testament? Like I said, the Old Testament is like the foundation of the house itself. Without the Old Testament, there is no New Testament. Doesn't mean you can't have a New Testament. So you just stick with the stones on the ground and don't build upon it? As Jesus came. We are in very difficult times, and there are people, and the reason I'm making this video, I just came across this little snippet on my news clip of why this woman left the Evangelical Lutheran something church as a pastor or a minister. That's a whole different can of worms. She's not even supposed to be. I'll get a lot of criticism for that. Not really concerned about that. I just stick with what the Bible tells me. Maybe there'll be 1,000 comments on this. I'm not going to respond to every single one. It's not the atheists that are stopping you from going to church. It is not the agnostics all the time stopping you from going to church. Because if you're already in church, they never stopped you to begin with. It's the church building itself, the people in it, and their mad, all this nonsense that they came up with, then these traditions. And I don't mean just the Catholic Church. I'm not talking about just the Roman Catholic Church. There are many denominations that follow these traditions. They are the reason that people leave. Good people are going to come. False people come. Fake people come. It's just because they're sent by the devil to get in and infiltrate them. That's why we have the problem in the church building in the first place. But good people are going to come, and they're lost. And they're going to go right back out lost again. I didn't want to make this video too long because this could go on longer and it could go in depth. But that's why we have the falling away. That's why we have so many people leaving the church. It's not because of the outside world. Because if they got what they should have gotten inside that church building, they wouldn't be lost in the first place. I'm sure some people, hey, I go to church every day. I'm happy. I'm wealthy. You're wealthy. I make a great living. And where in the Bible is that? Matthew, the tax collector? Anybody? No? All right, well, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you tuning in, but realize, if you're a Christian, or you call yourself a Christian, you need to get out there. Don't stand by idly. That's the problem. We're so concerned about what we can lose. But the problem is you're thinking materialistically what you can lose instead of what you gain. Doesn't mean you have to go live on the streets. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that at all. There are people living on the streets right now that you seem to be okay with, like, well, here's a $5 bill. Can you give them money and the gospel? Or, let me ask you that. Some other people, do you give the gospel without money? It's the gospel and a sandwich or the $5 bill. You know, faith and works. One, it cannot stand without the other. You can give them the food with the gospel. They get the physical food, and with the gospel, get the spiritual food, and you can fill them. Like faith and works. All your works doesn't bring any faith, but your faith is when the works follows. Your works is because of the faith. The faith is not because of the works. And I've done videos on that. God bless. I love you. And truly, truly witness to someone today.